Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Today I went over to a box store and I also went over to a nursery, and I picked up a few plants here that I could use in my garden for various different things. A lot of them were just kind of impulses. I just wanted to go out, see what was in the nursery, see what I could pick up. And today I'm just going to tell you about what I've got, what I'm going to do with them, if I've even got that figured out or not. So first thing I want to show you here, and this is really cool, this is apple mint. This was about $1.50 plant, and it's really a good deal on that kind of plant because that's a pretty sizable plant. One problem with this one though is it snapped off. It was broken. But you know what I'm going to do anyway is I'm going to take this piece off. I'm going to propagate it so that whole thing will actually turn into an additional plant. And I may actually do the same thing with these other two branches here. And I'll probably plant it in a pot because, you know, mint is one of those things that will sprawl, spread, and goes everywhere. Trust me, I've got some chocolate mint back here. It's delicious. I put it in my sweet tea and stuff like that, but it has gone everywhere because I planted it in the ground. I don't really mind it, but somebody else might someday. Another plant that I picked up was this. This is a salvia. It's an annual type of salvia. It's just a really pretty one. I believe it's Victoria. One of these had a label on them at least. Yeah, this is Victoria Blue. It's just kind of an old-fashioned annual, and it's got blue flowers. And it's just going to be kind of an ornamental. I'm going to put it up in one of my front gardens where it gets a lot of sun. And these will propagate too. You can take some extras on it. And that's one thing I really like to do because I'll go and I'll buy a couple plants here. Like these cost $2 a piece. And I'll take 4 or 5 cuttings from each one of them and make a whole bunch of extras and then just have a mass planting. And those cuttings will not be too far along the other one. They'll bloom pretty much all summer long. A couple other plants I got, and this is just a bell pepper. Nothing really special about this except my peppers failed this year. I had some hot peppers that did great, but all the ones that I had from a certain time period on my bell peppers never came up. None of them did. I think I probably just reached that point where those peppers are no longer viable. So I picked up one like this. I picked up a couple other peppers the other day, a red one, and that's just to make sure that I can keep some peppers in the garden. And I will propagate this one just like I did on my plant propagation video. I'll post a link there on peppers. You can propagate these and make more of them for your spring garden too. It's not just for bringing them indoors. You can propagate them and make a larger crop in your garden just fine. So that's what I hope to do with this and some of those others. One of my favorite herbs that I haven't had in a while is sage, and it just has a really nice smell to it when you push on those leaves and you put it in, like, say, meatloaf or some other seasonings in the wintertime. It's just really good. You can dry it and then put it into things later. But I picked up 2 of them. I love stuff in that family, the salvia family. It's just really nice plants. Just love those. And this one actually had a hitchhiker on it. Let me show you here. See that? That is a larvae of a lady beetle. So it's in the middle stages of converting over from larvae to beetle, which is pretty cool. Now, another ornamental is this sweet potato vine, and these are just ornamental. I got 2 of them. I got a purple colored one and kind of a lime green one. Now these propagate extremely easy, just like a sweet potato is. You just cut off some pieces, pop it in some water, and then roots will form, and then you plant it out and you're good to go. So I'm going to do some mass plantings with these, I hope, and I might mix them with this one here, which is one that I got at the box store. This is called Silver Brocade Artemisia, and it's very similar to one that I've grown before called Powis Castle. I don't have Powis Castle anymore. It died back one year. I think it got too much shade where it was, so this is going to go in the front garden where there's a bit of sun. This was on the discount plant rack for $3. That's a pretty good deal. Normally it'd probably be, looks like it was around $8 before. So save a little money off that. Powis Castle, Artemisia, this Artemisia, they will all propagate very easily too. Whoops, there's a bug floating around here. Anyway, but it will propagate very easy. You just clip off some stem tip cuttings over here, probably about 3 to 4 inches long, and it'll root. Okay, you don't need rooting hormone, but I generally will use it for that. I'm going to add some Coleus into some of the shade garden areas. I've got a bunch of it that I'm growing from seed in a flat in the garage right now on some heat mats. but it's not as far along as these here. And this is one of my favorite colors of the Coleus. I like that deep red look in the garden. I'm going to mix that over in the shade area so that it can kind of mix up with the hostas and the hellebores and just kind of have a pop of color over there. So, and that's it for today on what I bought. All of it should be kind of fun to play with and kind of put in neat spots. And truthfully, I went to the stores just kind of looking around. Didn't intend to really get anything big. It was just whatever I found. I did notice one thing which is very interesting. I did last year a video on propagating autolucan cherry laurel, and I saw one at the nursery, and it was probably a pot about that big, maybe a 5-gallon pot. $95. I'm not kidding. $95 for an autolucan cherry laurel. I've got a couple huge ones in the front that I planted several years ago. I probably got them 25 bucks a piece at that time, and they were probably about the same size plant. But you can go and make all kinds of different cuttings off of those things, and it roots very well. So yeah, in fact, right here's one of them. You know, I've got 4 in that little pot there, and you can just check out those roots here. It's very simple to root that. So if you have one, or you have a friend who has one, you can take some cuttings, and you know, just if you've got a little bit of time for them to grow, then you can create some hedges for it. There's one at my mom's house actually that is the size of the ones I have in the front, the real big ones that I propagated from my in-laws house and got over there, and now it's, I mean, it's a big plant. So it just takes time. All plants grow, and you can do it yourself. So just a few thoughts there, but $95 for one shrub. That seems pretty high to me. But anyway, it is what it is. So I'm Dave with Garden Home Garden. Hope you enjoyed this short little video on my plant take. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll have more videos on plant propagation, vegetable garden, all that stuff coming down the road. So stay tuned. I'll catch you later.